Haribo, hello again from Madhuvan Morning. Whoa, that was a weird flash. I don't know if that captures on the video. I wanted to write another video, blog, on a subject called poetry. That came to my mind this morning as me and my god brother Brahma were talking and taking some prasadam, food that's sanctified for Krishna, after our morning ceremony, our Ratik fire ceremony. I was filled with thoughts about how to bring out poetry. What is poetry? That has been going around in my mind for many years. First, I was thinking about art, and I was thinking about poetry, and I was thinking about a lot of these expressional forms of art, music, and there are certain inherent benefits to all these art forms, such as music makes you joyful, you like to dance, art is nice to look at, poetry can be nice to read, such as a story, but it always beat me what it is about these art forms that is why people are so captured by them entirely. It seemed to devour me for a long time, and I didn't seem to have a comprehension of how people are so into it. What is art? What makes a true artist? What makes a true poet? What makes a good musician? And good musicians write about it, and they try to elaborate, and they try to bring out what it is that makes them tick. What is it that makes them be good at whatever they are doing? Whether it be a painter, whether it be a jazz musician, or perhaps a transcendental poet. And recently I've had more and more glimpses into this. I mean, more you practice meditational practices, my teacher says ego-facing traditions. So that's a bit of a mouthful, and that's a bit of a concept that's hard to grasp, even for me. I tell you the truth right now, I'm still slightly baffled by this ego-facing tradition term. But what it means to me is, and what I've discovered that means to me when I practice this ego-facing tradition, that this Gaudiya Vaishnavism is, that I've taken up, also called Bhakti Yoga. Hinduism, one might say, but a little more to it than that, but I won't get to it. What it is when I practice is just this: it is poetry. It brings forth poetry. It brings forth the enablement for one to bring forth poetry. Poetry is something that starts coming out of your heart, such as art, any type of art. I mean, art can be poetry. Poetry is art. Art is poetry. Music is poetry. Poetry and art and music, they're all under the big same umbrella of having exhausted all the reservoirs within yourself, where to hold that love, where to hold that beauty that you feel in your heart. And you have arrived to a place where there's no more space. It's like that Indian proverb, "Oh, my son, I cannot fit in one more laddu. If I'd have space in my stomach, I wouldn't take that digestive pill. I would fit that laddu in there." Something like that. I told it horribly, but when it comes to love, there is only so much that we can retain. We can retain it all, but at some point there becomes a crying need to share. There becomes a crying need to bring it out, and that's what poetry is. That's what art is. You're now having the feel to reciprocate, and you want to share. You wanna try with your best abilities to bring it out. So poetry is a symptom, I call it. Poetry is a symptom of an illness or disease, which it's quite far from being an illness or disease, but say, using this kind of medical language, You have an illness that is called love. You have a madness. It's called in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. You're so ecstatic. You're so filled with joy, with happiness, with bliss, that this starts flowing over. This starts coming out of your heart, and you need to bring it out. There is no way. You need to share it with others. You need to share it with your loved one, with whoever it is. You need to share it with a paper and pen, so you can bring it out and make sense of it, theologize it, and there you go. My little definition of poetry. This beautiful Madhavan morning that's getting cloudy. So here's a little thing of flowers for you before. This poor tree got planted a few days ago, as did that poor little plant. There's the detrimental horse butt scratching results that now constituted as several other trees in here in the jungle. And these trees are quite wonderful. They grow living fences out of these trees by just popping up a branch into the ground. So they're quite torturous once they mix it with barbed wire. I don't agree with it fully, but it end up looking something like that. And after a couple of years, even better, even more beautiful. I mean, larger is not always better, but they do look quite majestic when they're full bloom. So Haribol, another little video here. It turned out to be a little longer video than that. But have a good day.